Good afternoon, folks. It's been a little while since I've managed to do a video. I have had some decent pickups since the last video. Back in probably January, I think it would have been now, I actually picked up a brilliant challenge set, a Nintendo challenge set, which is really clean and tidy. Yeah, I didn't really need this. I never owned one. But I saw it in my local CEX and it was just far too good to pass up. I actually left it for a couple of days, but it just kept playing on my mind about how good it was. And in the end, I just had to go back and get it. It was missing Super Mario Brothers 3 with it, and it only has one controller, but I could soon pick them up. And in fact, I've already managed to get my hands on an unboxed copy of Super Mario Brothers 3. Of course, it's not boxed of what would have come with it, but at least it's the game that did come with it. So I picked that up. I then went off with the boys to Cheltenham. So I went to the Cheltenham Festival, as we do every year. That was great. If you are into horse racing, please check us out on TikTok and at YouTube. We're Money Rider. We're quite easy to find on Money Rider Racing. So if you like a bit of horse racing, you like talking about horse racing, check us out over there. I've started doing a lot of sort of short videos on TikTok for retro, so I'm on there as a retro loft. Lots of sort of bite-sized retro stuff, all about games, retro cartoons, TV shows and stuff like that. So that might be your thing if you're on TikTok. And then after sort of doing all that and coming back from Cheltenham, I was keen to pick up just a few sort of games for the NES and start to build a bit of a selection for it. I've got a few games. I managed to pick up about 6 the other day from a place over in Essex called MisoRetroGames, owned by a really nice guy called Luke. If you are in the Essex area, or where, like me, where you're just the other side of the bridge, I highly recommend going and checking him out. I've sort of seen him grow a bit on the sort of social medias, on Facebook. He sort of explained to me that he started out in a little store and he's already had to move to a bigger store. So yeah, really nice guy. I plan to get back over there again and see if I can pick something up in the not too distant future. But probably about 4 weeks ago now, maybe. I went and had a little visit over there. I had a little look online. He's got a Shopify shop, and there was a few sort of games that I'd already sort of listed on Excel of games that I wanted for the NES. Right, well, all of these games are actually unboxed. I'm not actually worried about collecting in, CIB for the NES. But the first one I wanted to pick up was a really fun, interesting looking platform game. I love a platformer. Grew up playing platform. Grew up playing your Marios, your Zool, your Psycho Fox, your Alex Kidd and all those sort of things. But this one just looked really interesting, and it just looked like a novel sort of game. And that was Little Nemo the Dream Master. Very interesting, fun game. Just thought it looked like it was worth picking up, and I played it a bit. It's actually really quite tough, actually, but that's been good fun to play.
Little Nemo, the Dream Master was a platform game released on the NES in 1990 by Capcom. It is based on the Japanese-American animated film Little Nemo Adventures in Slumberland from TMS Entertainment, which was formerly known as the Kayakichi Corporation, a Japanese animation studio owned by the Sega Corporation, and the film itself was based on a 1905 comic strip Little Nemo in Slumberland by Winsor McCay, which ran from 1905 to 1927. The game revolves around a young boy and his own surreal dreams as he journeys to Slumberland. The purpose of the game is to travel to the Nightmare Land to rescue Morpheus, the king of Slumberland, from the clutches of the evil Nightmare King. The player controls Nemo as he proceeds through 2D side-scrolling levels. In each level, Nemo must collect a specific number of keys, which are generally scattered throughout the rather large levels. Throughout each level, the player encounters several animals, which include a frog, a gorilla, and a mole, which, after being fed candy, will allow Nemo to use their specific attributes to traverse the levels. A similar game mechanic would later be used in Kirby's Adventure in 1993. The animals' life bars often differ from Nemo's, with some animals possessing extra health bars. Such abilities are vital, as many challenging obstacles exist throughout the game, and enemies are virtually almost infinite. As such, Little Nemo is generally regarded as a highly difficult game. Little Nemo received positive reception from critics, with Electronic Gaming Monthly's 4 reviewers described the game as Rescue Rangers in a Dream World, and praised it for its Disney-esque pastel-style graphics, concepts, gameplay, frenetic action, and constant challenge. GamePro's The Unknown Gamer also commended the title for its visuals, sound, gameplay, fun factor, and challenge. Retrospective commentaries for Little Nemo the Dream Master have been more mixed, with IGN placing it at number 68 in their 2009 Top 100 NES Games list, but remarked that the game's advanced difficulty level no doubt took some unsuspecting youngsters by surprise back in the 90s.
The next one I'm going to show you won't be everybody's cup of tea. I'm actually a big fan of ice hockey and baseball. I already own this on the Game Boy, so I picked up a copy of Blades of Steel. A really good, fun ice hockey game. I know there's also ice hockey on the NES. I know sort of people are a bit divided on it. I haven't played the other one yet, but I wanted to pick that one up basically because A, I've got the copy on the Game Boy, and B, I'm a big ice hockey fan.
Blades of Steel, which was later released in Japan as Konami Ice Hockey, is an ice hockey video game released by Konami for North American arcades in 1987. And ported to the Family Computer Disk System and Nintendo Entertainment System in 1988. All teams are fictional, but based on real Canadian and American cities. The game is known for its fast-paced hockey action and especially for the fighting, and is often compared to ice hockey, which was developed by Nintendo and Pax Softnica, who was a software developer. When playing against the computer, there are 3 difficulty levels to choose from: Junior, College, and Pro. Each team consists of 3 forwards, 2 defensemen, and a goaltender. Players can select either an exhibition match, a one-off game played against either the computer or another player, or tournament matches that are similar to the NHL playoffs. The team that is successful in beating all of the opposing teams is awarded the cup. Like real-life hockey, there is fighting in the game, which is initiated whenever 2 players bump into each other 3 times in a row without hitting another player. The 2 players will stop skating and engage in pre-fight confrontation, where they are able to exchange punches if they choose. If a player rapidly punches their opponent during the pre-fight, there is a chance they will knock their opponent down and neither player suffers a penalty. If mutual punches are thrown during the pre-fight sequence, then a voice yells, "Fight!" The fight screen appears, and the gamers take control of their players. During the fight, a player can punch high, punch low, block high, or block low, and is given a health bar of 5 hits. The loser is the first person to get hit 5 times and is given a penalty and sent to the penalty box. The winner is not punished. There are a total of 8 teams, 4 from Canada and 4 from the United States, each one representing a city that housed an NHL team at the time of development. The 4 Canadian cities are Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, and Edmonton. The 4 American teams are from New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, and Minnesota. 2 sequels were released: NHL Blades of Steel 99 and NHL Blades of Steel 2000. The NES version was re-released on Nintendo's Virtual Console service on December 24, 2007. The arcade version was re-released on Microsoft's Game Room service on November 24, 2010.
The next one is a movie tie-in. It was based on a movie at the time that was out. I am a big Batman fan. I own several bits and pieces of Batman. You've got my Funko Pops there. I've got the Injustice statue of Batman and Wonder Woman, so I'm a big Batman fan. I've got other bits and pieces which I won't get down now or dig out now, but that was Batman, basically the movie game.
Batman, the video game, was developed by Sunsoft for the NES, featuring DC Comics Batman and loosely based on the 1989 film of the same name. The game is a platformer and is widely accepted as being amongst the best games available for the NES. The game has a feature that was unusual for side-scrolling platformers at the time. Unlike Sunsoft's Batman for the MegaDrive/Genesis, which features the grappling hook, Batman has the ability to do a wall jump on the NES. He is able to use 3 projectile weapons: the Batarang, a Bat Disc, and Bat Harpoon, which are powered by pellet cartridges. Though officially tied to the 1989 film, the plot of the game bears very little resemblance. The stages in the game consist of the Gotham City streets, Axis Chemical Plant, Gotham Sewers, Mysterious Laboratory, and the Gotham Cathedral Bell Tower. A number of DC Universe villains appear as low-level minions in the game, including Deathshot, KG Beast, Maxi Zeus, Heatwave, Shakedown, and Nightslayer. The bosses in the game are Killer Moth, a device known as the Machine Intelligence System, the Electrocutioner, a machine known as the Dual Container Alarm, Firebug, and the Joker. The game garnered generally favorable reception from critics. Electronic Gaming Monthly praised the intermission cutscenes, challenging bosses, and different weapons. While the graphics received praise for matching the film's mood, they felt it detracted from the game's overall appeal and added that its gameplay could get repetitive. Computer and Video Games Paul Rand lauded the presentation for its forbidding backgrounds, Batman's main sprite, and cutscenes. Rand also celebrated the game's soundscapes and frenetic gameplay. According to Famitsu, Batman sold approximately 78,437 copies during its lifetime in Japan, and in 1989, EGM gave it their Best Movie to Game award. In the years after its release, it has been celebrated as one of the best games on the NES, making it to number 33 in IGN's 2009 Top 100 NES Games.
The next game I picked up was a bit of an unusual one. It's a side-scrolling beat-em-up. Another one that I've heard good things about, although it being told it's very difficult. It's certainly more difficult than the Japanese version that came out. But the one we got on PAL and NTSC was Bayou Billy.
The Adventures of Bayou Billy, known in Japan as Mad City, is a 1988 action game developed and published by Konami for the Nintendo Entertainment System. The game employs three play styles: beat 'em up, light gun shooting, and racing. Billy West, otherwise known as Bayou Billy, is a Crocodile Dundee-like vigilante from the bayous of Louisiana, who has fought against a local crime boss, known as Godfather Gordon. In retaliation for interfering with his smuggling operations, Gordon kidnaps Billy's girlfriend Annabelle Lane in order to lure Billy into one final battle. Billy's quest to save Annabelle consists of 9 stages that takes him from the swamplands to Bourbon Street. As he battles Gordon's henchmen and eventually arrives at Gordon's estate to come face-to-face with the big boss himself. The majority of the game is a side-scrolling beat-em-up format in which the player must engage in hand-to-hand combat against every enemy he encounters in order to proceed from one area to the next. Billy's basic attacks consist of a punch, a kick, and a jump kick. The player can also arm Billy with one of 3 melee weapons dropped by certain enemies: a throwing knife, a club, and a whip. Billy can also pick up guns, which the player can draw or withdraw at any time by pressing the select button. Other power-ups in these stages include a chicken drumstick that refills Billy's health and a body armor that protects Billy from enemy bullets and reduces the damage he takes from other attacks. While the majority of the enemies in the beat-em-up stages are human bad guys, the player will occasionally fight animals such as crocodiles, eagles, and guard dogs. In stages 2 and 7, the game adopts a rail shooting format viewed from a first-person perspective, while in stages 4 and 5, the player must drive Billy's Jeep through the freeway from the grasslands to the suburbs before time runs out. Like many games of its era, it's considered to be quite hard. Why did many of the games appear this way? One popular train of thought is that developers made them more difficult to prolong the game's life as we had no downloadable content.
This next one is, again, a bit of an unusual one. Another one that I've sort of been recommended by sort of reviews and watching people on YouTube. A few people in Facebook groups told me to get it. It's a bit unusual in terms of the style. It's another platformer. We did get a lot of platforms back then. But this next one is Kabuki Quantum Fighter.
Kabuki Quantum Fighter is a 2D platform game developed by Human Entertainment and published by HAL Laboratory for the NES. It was originally released on December 21st, 1990, in Japan, and was later released in January 91 in North America before being released in Europe in February 1992. The game is set in the year 2056 and would probably be considered cyberpunk by today. A virus has appeared in the main defense computer for the planet Earth. The origin and nature are unknown, and the players adopt the persona of 25-year-old Colonel Scott O'Connor. A military agent who has transferred his brain into raw binary code using experimental technology in order to combat a rogue program in the main defense computer. When O'Connor enters the system, his body forms the self-image of his great-great-grandfather, who was a kabuki actor. The virus in the virtual world takes on properties of an actual virus. It leaves behind debris, mutant creatures, and parasitic environments of a biological nature. At the final level, it is revealed that the virus is of alien origin, having been picked up by the lost Hyperion probe launched to a neighboring planet. O'Connor must stop the virus before it can order the Hyperion to fire its laser weapons and destroy the human population. The gameplay style is generally side-scrolling, with a single boss room at the end of each level. O'Connor uses his long hair and chip-based weaponry to attack enemies inside the computer. The chip weaponry includes the energy gun, fusion gun, quantum bombs, and remote-controlled bow. The Japanese version was designed as a tie-in to the 1990 Kaizo Hayashi film Zeppang. In this version, a 15-year-old boy named Bobby Yano transforms into his samurai ancestor, Jigaku Gokurakomaru, and enters a supercomputer on a space station to clear it of viruses. References to the film were removed in the international releases. Quantum Fighter received mixed to positive reviews upon its release. Nintendo Power described the game as sci-fi action, giving it a rating of 3.6 out of 5 for graphics and sound, 3.6 out of 5 for play control, 3.5 out of 5 for challenge, and a 3.7 out of 5 for the theme and fun element, and Computer and Video Games magazine gave an overall score of 82 out of 100 in their review. The reviewers praised the detailed graphics but criticized the sound. Despite some initial skepticism, they found the game enjoyable after getting used to its difficulty and peculiar storyline.
Well, this last one, I didn't leave it to last for any particular reason, but it was huge back then. They've just got more popular and more popular. They're still huge today by many new generations, and they're four very cool dudes, and they are Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles.
Cowabunga!
Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, as it was known in Europe, since local censorship policies had deemed the word ninja to have excessively violent connotations for children, was released in our PAL region in 1990. In North America, it was published under Konami's Ultra Games subsidiary company and the equivalent Palcom brand in Europe and Australia. To circumnavigate Nintendo's strict licensing rules in place at the time that prevented third-party companies/developers from publishing no more than 5 games per year for the NES system. In the game, Shredder kidnaps April to gain the Life Transformer gun, a weapon capable of returning Splinter to his human form. In order to save April and reclaim the gun, the Turtles embark on the streets of New York to confront the Foot Clan. It's a single-player action game, and the player starts the game as Leonardo, but can switch to any of the other Turtles by accessing the information screen. The information screen shows each Turtle's health, special weapons, a map grid of the current area, and messages from either Splinter or April. Each primary weapon has a different speed, power, and reach. Thus, during gameplay, certain Turtles may be more adept at defeating certain enemies and navigating particular obstacles than others. Overall, there are 6 stages or missions to the game. 1. Streets of New York. 2. Hudson River Dam. 3. Wall Street Rooftops. 4. JFK Airport. 5. South Bronx Lair. And 6. Technodrome. The Tech Times described the game as being well received at the time of its release, and Nintendo Power scored it 4 out of 5 and praised its superb play control and super sharp graphics. But former Sega CEO Mike Hayes described the NES system reception in the United Kingdom as a failing brand, and treated as a toy by Mattel, and that it was not achieving the high sales it had in North America and Japan. As the distributor for the system in the United Kingdom, the company who Hayes was working for decided to bundle the game with the NES and retitled it as the Mutant Machine. The release of the bundle led to far higher sales during the Christmas season of 1990, and sales soared 2,000% in the UK, meaning Nintendo had established itself successfully in the UK market, leading the NES to overtake Sega's Master System console sales.
Well, that's the games I picked up recently. Obviously, I still want to add more games to the NES collection. I still need to add more to my Super NES collection. Just the 3 Star Wars ones are new at the minute. Rest is in the lounge, so I've got more games to add there. I also want to add more to the Game Boy. I'm not going to go into PS1, PS4 and PS3s and all that. So it's just not really my style, but yeah, that's what I've picked up very recently from Luke over at MisoRetroGames in Billericay. Do check them out. I'd quite like to get up to Romford again, or Brentford, where Retro Giants are there. Really nice couple as well that run those stores. So that'll be one of my next port of calls when I can get there, once I sort a few other things out. So yeah, but that's it. That's all I've got to say for now. That is what I picked up. Hopefully you sort of thought informative video, and like I say, hopefully you had some good fond memories of the games, and I'll see you for another one.